Imagine this, a fiery debate where a Christian scientist boldly challenges an atheist's worldview. Picture MrBATMAN, armed with logic and scientific principles, dismantling common atheist talking points. It's like watching the truth of God's word being revealed, woven intricately into the very fabric of reality itself.
Can truth really exist without God? So here's what happened. An atheist boldly claims Jesus can't possibly be the truth. But wait, the apologist skillfully turns the tables, posing the question, where do the laws of science and reality even come from?
I actually use what's called the correspondence theory of reality, that truth is that which comports with reality. Truth is that which is real. Would you agree with that?
Yes, which is another
great.
reason that Jesus cannot be the truth.
Okay. Once again, when Jesus said, and I'm all tangled up here, apologize. Jesus said in John 14:6, what I quoted, he's actually quoting the Old Testament where he says, the sum of your word, which would be all of it, is truth, and all of your righteous rulings endure forever. And what I'm talking about here, in order to do science, this is why I love science. In order to do science, you have to have something called the uniformity of nature. The uniformity of nature is the fact that all of the physical world works under uniform law-like patterns. These uniform law-like patterns are called natural laws, like laws of gravity, magnetism, thermodynamics. These things do exist. We observe them in the physical world, and they don't change over time. So where would something like that come from, according to your worldview?
Irreducible complexity. They say it's been debunked, but you know what? It's all around us. Imagine a clear, scientific explanation of how our very bodies defy evolution itself and point directly to a master designer.
Everything is designed. Everything in the biological world is irreducibly complex, right down to bacteria. When you look at the circulatory system of the body, the circulatory system, and I know a little bit about this because I've had a heart attack. Again, the circulatory system consists of the heart, the blood, and the veins and the arteries. The heart pumps the blood through the veins and the arteries. The blood takes the oxygen in and the carbon dioxide out. So this is an irreducibly complex system that you have to have all three of these together at the same time before this particular system will work. But it gets worse than that, because this system is interdependent upon other irreducibly complex systems, such as the respiratory system. That's where the blood gets the oxygen and takes out the carbon dioxide. That respiratory system is interdependent upon the muscular system, which is interdependent upon the skeletal system, and I could go on and on and on. This is why I love science.
Where does the code of life, our DNA, really come from? So, when pressed for answers, the atheist struggles, offering instead a bizarre claim about consciousness, one that oddly defies his own worldview.
And so, sir, when we look at this genetic information that's in our bodies that makes us who we are, 3 billion base pairs. Now, sir, how do you account for this information? How do you account for communication systems, such as in our brains? We have a transmitter neuron, a receiver neuron, and the synapse, not to mention the signal that it goes across that synapse. Which one of those evolved first, and how do you know? You can make all these speculations.
Believe it or not, it was consciousness that evolved before any of these things.
Oh, I would love to talk to you about that. Where does consciousness come from?
Consciousness pre-exists pretty much everything. You have consciousness.
So you have a God. You're not an atheist.
No, there's no magical.
So what is consciousness?
Immortal. There's no magical anthropomorphic immortal in my perspective.
Okay, great. So what is consciousness if it's always existed?
You can find evidence of consciousness in the most basic of living organisms, even those that don't have a brain.
But wait a minute. You said it's always existed. Now, how do you know it's always existed? You made a claim.
An atheist declares that the laws of logic are eternal, yet have no source. But watch closely. This argument collapses under the weight of the scientific reality of our decaying universe. Remarkably,
yeah, necessarily so. And you're not.
So logic, where does it come from? Logic is eternal, universal, and unchanging. The law of identity is actually in the Bible. So is the law of non-contradiction, the law of excludable. All of these laws are in the Bible. As a matter of fact, hang on a second, please. please. Hang on just a second. So, sir, all of these laws are in the Bible. Now, these laws are eternal, universal, and changing. Now, due to the law of cause and effect, do you accept the law of cause and effect?
I have to wonder about your reference to the Bible being, that the laws of logic are in there when it contradicts itself so vehemently and so often. But that's regardless. We're not making.
Do you agree with the law of cause and effect?
Yeah.
Great. Where does that law come from, and why does it never change
over time? Once again, we go back to the original error that you made at the very beginning of this that I corrected at the onset. If something is eternal, it didn't come from anywhere.
Well, wait a minute. But we see the physical world. The physical world changes over time. Would you agree we see things decay and die over time?
Ultimately, the debate unveils a striking contrast. On one hand, atheism stands with unprovable claims and endless logical circles. But on the other, the Christian worldview offers a consistent foundation for science, logic, and reality itself. Fascinatingly,